Tiger Woods has got his very first retro shoe, and it's this one right here, the Nike Tiger Woods 13, to celebrate the 10-year anniversary of this very shoe. So in this video today, let's take a closer look at this shoe, go over some of the specific design details of it, give you a real close-up look of some of these elements, because to be fair, there's not many shoes being released today that look like this. This is a shoe of its time, and that's kind of crazy to say given that it was only 10 years ago. And there's a lot of things going on with this shoe that is very specific to it. It really focused on the Nike Free philosophy. That's a kind of brand of running trainers or style of running trainers that Nike do. And they incorporated a lot of those elements into this shoe. And if you do want to grab a pair, then I have included my links down in the description below. They retail in the United States for $240, or here in the UK, £225. What's quite ironic is that Nike have just launched their very first Tiger Woods retro shoe, and even though he's still with the Nike brand, he's not even wearing Nike footwear at the moment. He's wearing FootJoy Premiers. Now, clearly there is a specific reason for him for doing that, because he's been doing that for quite a while. So I'm sure the Nike marketing team are absolutely kicking themselves on this one that Tiger's first retro isn't even being worn by Tiger. But that's the position we're in, and there's still a lot of hype for these shoes. What's nice to see is that this is a proper golf shoe. And what I mean by that is, first of all, it's spiked. It remains to be seen how many of these shoes Nike have actually made. Hopefully it's not too much of a limited edition, because there's plenty of golfers out there that are looking for a spiked Nike golf shoe that isn't necessarily based on a pair of trainers. We've had the Jordan 4s, we've had the Jordan 5s, we've had the 12s, the 6s are about to drop, I think next week or the week after. So it's really cool to see that, okay, there's something slightly different on offer. However, $240, that's a hefty price tag to swallow. You are paying for the fact that this is a retro, and I guess they've had to kind of dig out their old tooling or make new tooling to make this shoe a kind of, you know, one-for-one retro of what it used to look like 10 years ago. That's a lot of money. For your extra money, as well as the shoes, you are also getting this string bag included in the box. Nothing particularly special about it. You've got Nike Golf just written on the bottom of it there. You know, it's all right, it's a string bag. Nice touch, but does it really make up for $240? In terms of the looks, it has this retro kind of aesthetic. From the outside, I say that it looks like quite a big, bulky-esque shoe. Certainly doesn't necessarily help with this big old toe area here, really looking just kind of protruding and looking quite bulky on it. Not necessarily a bad thing, because people will like the fact that this is a retro and this looks like one of their old favorite shoes. So I suppose it's got that going for it. But when you compare it to some of the modern day shoes, it does look a little bit kind of bulky, not necessarily as sleek and fast as some of the modern shoes being released today. You've got the Nike swoosh on both the outside and the inside of the shoe here, and you've got a little bit of pattern in it as well. So you can probably just see you've got these elements there, and that's part of the flywire being integrated into this shoe. So I'll come on to that in a little bit, because it's quite an interesting and a good lacing system, I feel, that gives you quite a good lockdown feeling across the toes on this shoe. You then have the combination of the grey hot melt there around the outside of the shoes, combining with these black nylon straps that the laces go through. And as I mentioned, there's fly wire going through the shoe on both the outside and the inside there. And as you go up the shoe, then you've got the perforated padded tongue. You've got the Tiger Woods logo on the tongue there as well. You've then got the red little accents on the top there. And if you take a look at the back of the shoe, you've got the stripe with the Tiger Woods logo as well. When you take a look at the heel, it's quite interesting because there's two elements going on. First of all, you've got this padding, which you can see on the ankle and the heel area, if I just show you. And it's got a little bit of texture to it as well, this kind of square pattern. And actually, there's a fairly decent amount of padding on the heel, but it does get quite reduced the further up the front of the ankle you go. And on the tongue, you haven't really got any padding at all on the front part here. You've just got this material, and then there is padding. I don't know if you can quite see that on the inside, but if I show you on the outside, there is padding that goes down and kind of sits underneath the laces there. So because they're using this thin material on the tongue, it's not going to necessarily affect you or be painful with the laces, because you have then got that padding which sits underneath the laces. But going back to the ankle, what I mentioned there is that you've got the padding, and then you've also then got this stitching across as well on that material there. And you can see it's kind of two separate pieces if I pull it away and show it to the camera there. So it's just kind of interesting with the fit. And that again is kind of helping in terms of the way that the Flyknit integrates with the shoe, and then really gives you that pulled, wrapped fit when you do up these laces. And when you really do kind of tug on the laces and do them tight on the shoe, you can really feel the way that this shoe is giving you a secure fit. If I open the shoe up and kind of angle it that way, can you see on the inside there? Hopefully you can. Yeah, just there. You can see those nylon elements going right down the outside as well as the inside of the shoe, and those are connected to the laces, so you're really getting that secure fit. Now, Flywire is nothing new. Nike have been using it in their running shoes for years, their soccer shoes, maybe their American football cleats. I don't know, I've never played or tried on a pair, and certainly in some of their golf shoes as well. In terms of the upper, I'm not entirely sure. Is this leather? I don't think it's leather. Doesn't smell like leather. So this could very much be a totally synthetic upper, and it is very thin actually. You can probably maybe hear that there. Definitely you can feel when you put these shoes on, you can feel the thinness of this material on the top of your toes. Now I've got a very narrow foot, and I have to do these up like I have to do any golf shoes up really, quite tight to make sure I get a good fit. And that did mean that I can definitely feel that upper material kind of creasing and clicking when I was walking on it. Now, if you've got a wider foot or just a normal foot, you're probably gonna not notice that anyway, but definitely I could sense and feel this is a very lightweight material on the top of my toes. In terms of fit, I went true to size, and I'd say that's about where you want to go with your regular sizing. There's a good amount of room still at the end, so you're not going to worry about your toes being scrunched up at the end. And although these look like quite a big, relatively bulky shoe, there's not a huge amount of room in the toe box. I'd say that it's about right, to be honest. There's certainly not loads of room to wriggle your toes and have plenty of space, but equally it's not too cramped in there. I'd say that it's just a pretty good, secure fit. Now, they didn't offer a wide option, certainly not at launch with these shoes. So if you've got a particularly wide foot, you might need to go up half a size in these. Definitely try and order both your size and half a size up to see and check it out, and then send back the one that's no good. If you take a look at the outsole, you can see here that you've got a combination of these cleats here, or spikes as we call them in the UK. And so you've got 6 of them, pretty standard settings, 2 at the heel, 4 at the front. You've also then got this kind of rubbery material as well, and giving you a little bit of protection across the toe, and you've got this kind of spiky design on that. Not particularly aggressive, not too bad, but that's certainly going to give you some additional attraction on your toe area. And then you've also got these little extra kind of molded rubber spikes kind of along the outside of your cleats there, on the, well, I say on the outside, on the inside, and you've got a few on the outside of the shoe as well, and they go across the heel area as well. You can see those 2 sections. And then in the middle here, this is the midsole foam, so you can feel that it's very soft and that just compresses down, even though they've got this kind of slight spiked look to them. If I hold them really close to the camera, you can see that there. But that's not really going to give you any additional traction on that. I'd say that's there more for design. And actually, interestingly, if you take a close look on the outsole there, you've got the Tiger Woods logo there on this kind of glossy little plastic piece there. And then on the bottom, you've also got the Nike logo there. What I really like about this outsole is that it's been designed with that Nike free ethos as well. So you can see here, it's kind of split up into these quadrants. What that means is you get a good amount of flexibility in these shoes. They do feel nice and lightweight. And that's the whole point of Nike Free, is that it's giving you a free feeling in your shoes. They use it in their running shoes, and it's meant to give you this kind of barefoot feeling. Now, I'm not saying that these feel like you've got nothing on your feet. They feel relatively significant in my opinion. Not necessarily the heaviest shoes, for the bulk of they are, they feel kind of quite lightweight in the hand, but they did feel very nice to walk in initially when I was just walking around the house. They don't necessarily feel as soft and as squishy as some of the more modern golf shoes that use Nike React Foam or Air Zoom or anything like that, but they felt comfortable enough walking around the house. But I haven't used them yet out on the golf course, so I'll have to let you know when I post my full review of these shoes. The outsole is very easy to remove, and you're not really getting too much there. This kind of retro Nike golf logo on the heel, but it's, I'd say it's quite thin, but actually, no, it's about regular, normal kind of feeling for a Nike outsole. You can see that it's got the perforations in it. You can probably see it that way better. So you're getting a little bit more breathability with the shoe. And actually with the outsole out, hopefully the camera can pick this up. You can probably see there now how the actual Flyknit is starting right from the bottom of the shoe, right from the outsole, and then going all the way up through those laces sections there. So you are getting this kind of wrap around fit. I've got a feeling that this shoe is going to be maybe quite nice and breathable actually to wear because of these lightweight materials. Again, I'll let you know in my full review. So please smash the like button if you found this video helpful, and make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell so you can get notified when I do post my full review of these shoes, which will be coming very, very soon. And if you are interested in Nike's newest and most fashionable golf shoes, then why not check out my full review of the Air Jordan 1 Low golf shoes, which I've included right here.